Hi, my name's Trevor. I'm a breathwork instructor. Work with Soma Breath and I work with Oxygen Advantage. I met a friend for coffee this morning and they were telling me that they're really struggling with sleep, so I said I would make this video to help them with sleep. Now, interestingly, in this case, they are already taking really powerful sleep tablets but not being able to sleep. So I'll be like, okay, 4 days, really struggling to sleep about 2 hours a night, which obviously is not very good for restoring the body's health and energy and stuff. So I really wanted to help. Hopefully this video will help other people as well who are struggling to sleep. So the thing is, like, when you sleep, what it is, it's like the quality of your breathing during the day affects how you sleep, right? So if you think about it like this, you go through your day and you breathe in a certain way, and then when you go to sleep you just breathe in that same way, okay? So if you're not breathing in a functional way, then that's going to affect how you sleep. So there is a breath that you can do, and I just want to really simplify this. So I have ADHD tendencies myself, and the person who I'm helping has ADHD, so I just want to make this as simple as possible. So what I've called this is good night nose breathing. Okay, this is ADHD friendly and it's got anchor words. So your body has a helper called the vagus nerve, and it tells your heart and your muscles and your brain it's time to rest. Breathing softly and slowly through the nose with longer exhales helps your body calm down. So we're going to use anchor words to help your mind focus and stay on your breath. You think of each word as a little signal. So when you inhale, you're going to inhale soft and as if it's glowing, and then exhale, you're going to be melting as if you're heavy. Okay, so you, like, essentially when you breathe in, you're going to expand, and when you exhale, you're going to contract. All right. So actually I don't really like that explanation very well. Bloody ChatGPT has changed everything that I've done. Look, here's the truth of it. If you exhale through the nose for longer than you breathe in through the nose for about 10 minutes before you go to bed, you will kick off the little stress reset button that is called your vagus nerve, and it is the rest and digest. That means that when you have a meal, all the blood and the functionality of your brain, or most of it, diverts into, like, your body just basically says, okay, I need to digest. And so it takes away from, you know, wanting to run or wanting to read a book or whatever, and you're focused on eating and digesting. That's where the focus of the energy is. What that does is that actually just sends your brain to sleep a little bit. You start to divert energy. Okay, so we can use this with breathing. So we breathe in. Now this is really interesting. When I was talking to this person, their nose, they could breathe in through the nose, but they couldn't breathe out through the nose. So I sort of investigated this, and you know, this is exactly what dysfunctional breathing is. It's nothing. It's no blame apportioned. Breathing in through the nose, and then our natural inclination is to breathe out through the mouth. Okay, but what that does is that just, like, it deflates us. It deflates us. We're breathing too fast. We want to slow down. The nose is much smaller. The cavities are much smaller, and the air is much more controlled. Okay, and it's also warmer as well. And there is nitric oxide in the nose that helps us to relax, and it is very, very healthy for us to breathe through the nose. Okay, so I was going through this exercise with the person, and I said breathe in through the nose, And then they went, oh, I can't breathe out through the nose. So if that is the case, and sometimes that is the case, that you have a really stuffy nose. I've done this before. You hold it, so you breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your nose, and then hold your nose, and then bob your head up and down for 10 times. Now, admittedly, she didn't really want to do this in a coffee shop. I understand that because you look a bit silly, but that will automatically open up the nasal passages a bit. Another thing you can do as well before you go to bed is you can just gently flare your nose nostrils like this, or you can massage here. This is where the sinuses really are. I mean, you've got a bit of sinus here and a bit of sinus here and a bit of sinus here, and then a massive bit at the back, and then so just give that a little pull to there, and you feel the sinus passages opening a little bit, which is nice. You can give yourself a little massage before bedtime. That isn't a bad thing to do. So the vagus nerve that we're talking about can be activated by your breath, but it can also be activated just under here, just to the side of the neck, just by giving that a little massage. And what I like to do, and this really does look silly in a coffee shop, put your finger inside here and just give your ears a little massage. Now, I'm not doing this to make you look stupid. This is actually activating the vagus nerve. So what does activating the vagus nerve actually mean? How do I know that I've activated my vagus nerve? What I would say is that you maybe feel an urge to yawn. Okay, that's a really good one. You may feel a diffusion of your eyesight a little bit, like instead of like being focused in your stress response, you're now a little bit more taking the world in, noticing, being a bit more aware. But I think mostly what I feel is that you might get a little rumble in your stomach, because that's where the vagus nerve is. The majority of the nerves are in the stomach, and that's where you're going to kick off your relaxation response when you want to sleep. So what you want to do is make yourself really comfortable and lie down on the bed, and you want to maybe just focus on a spot on the ceiling. And then as you become aware of your breath, just breathing in through your nose, just get a sense of how cold the air is that's going through your nose. If you can hear a noise as you breathe in and as you breathe out, you're probably breathing too fast. You really want to slow that down so it's almost imperceptible. When you reach the natural crest of the wave and you want to come down the other side of the wave, just let go rather than force it out. So you're doing a lot of, we call it 70% of the effort is on the inhale and like 30% is on the exhale, because if you think about it, your lungs are naturally collapsing and pushing out a lot of the air anyway from gravity. Now, it's not, there's loads of things that you can do to help for sleeping. Sometimes I get twitchy legs. You can put your legs up on the wall about 5 minutes before you do this exercise, and that will redistribute the blood throughout your legs and give you a fresh blood flow, so you don't get tingly and don't get all those weird twitchy sensations that can be really annoying when you're trying to go to sleep. So as you breathe through your nose, and then as you breathe out through your nose, the real trick is just to breathe out longer than you would do breathing in. So let's do a count. So we're breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and then breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now when you first do this, I want you to try 6 counts. That's going to be really good. When you are better at this, you might want to extend it to 8. You want to double it. So it's in, 2, 3, 4 through the nose, and then out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once you reach the bottom, again, just nice and breathe it in. If you find that's too hard for you, go back to 4, 6. But what you want, or if you're really struggling, you can do in, 2, out, 2, 3, 4. What I want you to do is sort of have 2 more breaths more than your exhale. Okay, breathing in, breathing out. So let's just have a look at some of the physiological things that are going on. Here's what I notice. I'm becoming more aware of noises in the room. Things are calming down. I can feel like my nervous system just dropping and shifting to another level, which is fantastic. That's what we're looking for. So let's do another round. Breathing in, breathing out. Your eyes might feel a bit heavy. That's great. Something you really want to do when you're sleeping. And breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now close your eyes. Remember, just make the exhale longer. If you are short of breath, if you're struggling, just make it 3 and 6, 3 and 4, whatever, as long as it's just slightly longer on the exhale. And it's always got to be through the nose. Now what happens after a while is your brain will learn and become automatically good at this. So I always feel like when I first start nose breathing, it's like I'm really, really making an effort. I'm like, nose breathing. And then after a while, just 3 or 4 rounds, it's like it's almost like I'm relaxed in nose breathing. I haven't got very much, control over it anymore. I am directing it, but it's becoming an automatic response. What we're doing is we're training the brain. And if you can't sleep, and this is training your brain to sleep, to go into the good night nose breath. All right. I'm not going to go into like hypnosis or anything like that. I really don't. That's not the point. What we're doing is there's a muscle underneath your lungs. Okay, it's called the vagus nerve. It's not a muscle. Sorry, that's the diaphragm. So the diaphragm. So basically what's happening is as you breathe in, the diaphragm's moving. That is triggering like the vagus nerve to wake up. The vagus nerve is like your chill pill, right? Activate your chill pill. Send a message to your body. I am safe. It's time to rest and relax. And then sleep won't be far away. I'm actually going to go through a proper way to do this so that you can do this as a guide to move along. What we're looking for is to do this longer and longer and longer. And I have lots of I have lots of strange tricks for that we can layer on top for sleeping. So here's a good one. So when you're sleeping, imagine, well, you don't have to imagine. So you put your hands on your thighs and imagine just drumming an alternate beat on your thighs and then just slowing that beat down. The slower you breathe through your nose and the slower you tap your fingers, the more hypnotic your body feels and more it's like, oh, okay, ooh, there's something funny going on here. You are putting your body into a nice, restful, relaxed state. Okay, by rhythm. So we're using the rhythm of the breath, and we're using the rhythm of the tapping, using the tapping on the thighs. Okay, basically, if you slow your breath down and you slow your tapping down, and you slow everything else down, it just sends a body signal. Throughout the whole of the body, you're safe. It's time to sleep. Right. What we tend to do when we're not sleeping is be tense and start think, oh no, I can't sleep and I'm tense and oh, I've got this itch and da. All right, so we're just going straight to the source. We're going to breathe low and slow. We're going to exhale for longer than we inhale. It's going to be through the nose, and we're going to call this the good night nose breath. Okay. Tell your brain when you go to bed, we're doing the good night nose breath. Right, and your brain will go, great, excellent, that's a sign. Try and switch off screens before you go to bed. I know I am the worst one to do that. I'm just getting into this behavior pattern now where I switch off my screens. I do a little bit of music, a little bit of dancing, a little bit of stretching, and then I just do a bit of puzzle. I have a big puzzle, 1,000 pieces, and I just put in a couple of pieces, and then I might have a little glass of water. I always have it with Celtic salt so that it doesn't wake me up in the evening. I'll do another video about that. So you're hydrated, but also so that you don't pee in the night, because sometimes that can be a problem. If you've been lying awake for ages, you want to have a pee, and that just feels like, yeah, probably would do something about that. But essentially what it is like, if you drink a glass of water before you go to bed, you'll probably have a pee at 3 o'clock, and that will disturb you. If you have a few crystals of salt before you have that water, and a little bit less water, that will hydrate your body and you'll sleep better, but it won't wake you up at 3 o'clock for a pee. So that's a nice little bonus tip, isn't it? What else? Alright, so this is a really interesting thing that you might want to play with. Essentially, if you confuse your brain, which is what sort of counting backwards sheep was all about. Remember counting backwards sheep? So you imagine sheep are jumping over a fence and you count them up, but if you can count them backwards as well. That's a little bit confusing. Whatever works for you. But there is some sort of science in saying, think of something, let's go an apple, and then think of something completely unrelated and go pie, but that isn't unrelated. So that's a good example. It can't be related. So if your brain goes like mine did, apple pie, that won't work, because it's now going, oh, this is a good game, I can connect things. What we're trying to do is bore us to sleep, really. So okay, let's try this. Apple, potato, football, notice board, parka coat, Olympics, speakers, duvet, paint, bananas. So we combine this with the breathing, we combine this with tapping. I mean, you don't have to, but it's just a bit of fun, really. You know, what's the alternative? Lying there and going, oh no, I can't go to sleep again. Or just have a bit of fun with it. Just relax. Try the nose breathing, exhaling through the nose, low and slow and soft, almost imperceptible, just so gentle, so light, but always breathing out more on the exhale. And then if that doesn't work, or it will work, but you know, if you get a bit bored of that, then try the random word association, try counting backwards, you know, play with it. Like, just be like, okay, all right, let's play, let's experiment, let's see what works for us. Okay, that's probably enough for today. I'm actually gonna put a really quick video with a demo to go alongside this, which I'm going to put on YouTube, and I hope that's useful for you. Listen, comment below if there's any other videos you want me to make, things that are particularly bothering you. Comment below your experiences as well, whether this helped you, whether it helped you sleep. It really is just a question of testing it. If you're suffering from sleep and then suddenly you have a really good night's sleep, that's going to be really noticeable. You're going to have better energy in the day, you're going to be working better. Your anxiety is going to be lower. You'll probably make better decisions and better nutrition decisions as well. You look after yourself. So that is about all I've got to say today. Just wish you a very good night and easy breathing tonight, and a really good rest. And I hope you wake up fully refreshed in the morning. If you like this, like and subscribe, share with your friends. Yeah, this is Trevor saying good night.